Well, kia ora, welcome back to AL Group. It's the T20 World Cup entering its final stages. It's Afghanistan, South Africa, India, and England that have made it through to this last leg of this year's T20 World Cup. We're very lucky to have Jatin Vaichal, cricket expert, with us now all the way from Australia. Thank you so much for your time, Jatin.
My pleasure.
So before we get into too much detail, let's have a look at some sports recap. So of course, the New Zealand tour of Pakistan earlier this year, the T20 series finishing 2-all. IPL 2024, Kolkata Knight Riders taking the win, and Sunrisers Hyderabad runner-up. Premier League, Man City taking the prestigious title, and the UEFA Europa round of 16 is starting soon. And of course, the ICC Men's T20 World Cup semi-finals are finalized. So as I said, we're very lucky to have Jatin Vaichal. He's a cricket expert all the way from Sydney, Australia. So, Jatin, let's start with the semi-finals. We've got four teams: South Africa,
hmm
Afghanistan, India, and England. What do you make of it?
all the four teams have performed amazingly to get to this stage. Specifically, I need to mention Afghanistan, the way they have played overall. It's good to see that good cricket has gone forward. South Africa, on the other hand, has come into semi-final, but they have had their own challenges, which they have overcome again to make
Mhm.
it to the semi-finals. India obviously had slow start, I would say, even though they won the matches in the initial stages with USA and Pakistan. But there was not the high scoring or the game which we would expect, which was seen against Australia when they played the other day. The
Yeah.
A game coming out, which was good to see. England, again, one of those who have not performed that well in the early stages, but have done great work in the Super 8
Mm.
leg. It was good to see them perform at that time as well. I think they have got a very balanced thing right now with how they are playing. So good to see all the four teams who have performed well, played well, making it to the semi-final.
Yeah, of course, South Africa is debatable of whether they should be in the semi-final, but I think they have proven themselves. They've got those wins that they've needed. They've taken the crucial wins against some of the top teams. Afghanistan pulling off a ripper against Australia the other night, clutching the Bangladesh game. Yesterday it was. In the final moments, it was a really stressful game, I'm sure, for them and Bangladesh. Of course, in the end, Bangladesh, even if they had won, it was unlikely that they would have made it through to the semi-finals, where it became at a stage that they needed to chase the target in 11 overs when it was 9 overs, and unfortunately that didn't happen for them. Afghanistan pulling back in the last moments to take that win and proceed through to the semi-finals. India, of course, you said they had a slow start. They did. Very close games against Pakistan, and of course not too close against USA in the group stages.
hmm
But in this second stage of the Super 8 stage, they have remained taken get wins against Afghanistan, Australia, and Bangladesh. So India are the only team in this tournament to go into the semi-finals undefeated. England, slow start to their campaign. Losses against Australia in the group stages, washout against Scotland, and they lost to South Africa in the second stage, and now they are into the semis, taking on India in 2 nights' time. Prediction for the final, Jatin?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
India
it's a
versus
very
Afghanistan.
bold prediction to put in there. Afghanistan playing the final. Um, uh, Even though we are saying it's going to be a tough semifinals. All the four teams have played exceptional cricket to reach to the semifinals, so it's not going to be an easy game to anyone. But seeing how India has understood or read the situations, I'm pretty sure the captaincy, which is shown by Rohit Sharma, is in like the way he changes his bowlers, but when he brings in the right ones at the right time, and the way fearless batting which he has shown against Australia as well. Now, while batting first, was a great leadership skill to see that he's leading from front and not afraid to take those risks. He's a very bold captain. Afghanistan, again, just have to praise them. It's the way they have believed in themselves. Even with the Bangladesh game, even after the score, which was just 116 to get in 120 deliveries, was not a massive score. Bangladesh should have gone for it, at least tried for it, which was a bit of a disappointment to see Bangladesh not even trying to achieve that target and making it to the semi-final, even when they had wickets in hand. So India and England is going to be again one of the crucial ones to look for. The same would be for Afghanistan and South Africa. Reason for Afghanistan to be there instead of South Africa is pretty much the way they have played. They believe till the last minute, last ball, last run, for that matter, and that's key. Like makes them apart from any other team playing the tournament so far. I would be surprised if they can't make it to the to the finals. India would be having a tough challenge on their hands. England have got players who can kick in and can get into form very quickly. A few names is there to Josh Butler if he gets a start, for which he's very explosive batsman. It's going to be a tough challenge for India to tackle that. Again, in the middle order, they've got Moin Khan, Moin Ali, who is going to be a crucial batsman. He knows the Indian bowlers quite well as well. So it would be good to see. So India, Afghanistan, at this moment, 51% chances for each of them. But I won't rate others less than 49% on that one because it's a very, very balanced teams who are playing the semifinals.
It is very close, like you said. England are a top team. They have won the T20 World Cup. They are the defending champions. It was at a stage where we thought England would not make it to the semi-finals. They lost to Australia. They had an almost loss against Scotland. They're lucky the rain came, but it was going to be a difficult chase for that as a matter. And Scotland almost taking a game off Australia, which would have secured this spot. So England was going to be knocked out of and before the Super 8 stage, which would have been very unfortunate. But now they've clutched it together. Of course, only the one loss in the Super 8 stage against the South African side. But it will be tough for India, you're right. Although India do have the bowlers, they have the batsmen, it is a 49 to 51 chance for both sides. India might have a bit of an upper hand. They're getting into form. England are also getting into form. So both that semi-final will definitely be one to watch. Again, Afghanistan versus South Africa. South Africa have remained undefeated in their group stage, second stage, the Super 8 stage in their group. But Afghanistan is a top team with top class. They beat Australia, which says something. They beat Bangladesh to secure this spot. And you're right, they are a very talented team. They are very good and they cannot be underestimated. And I'm sure there is again a 51-49% chance. The game will be tomorrow, of course, and I'm definitely sure that we'll both be watching that one. It's going to be a very close match.
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
Shocking performances. Australia, that's the big name. It's a very big name. And when we do talk about cricket, whether it's T20, Test, ODI, whatever format of the game it is, you will never. It's very difficult to see Australia not qualify for a semi-final of any World Cup, and whether it be under 19s, T20, cricket, women's, they have it all, don't they? So what's wrong?
Yeah.
What's happened to this Australian team in this T20 World Cup?
Yeah, you are absolutely right. Australia is one of those names which we tend to see who would be playing semifinals. Like, take any prediction from the past. Anyone who is talking about cricket would consider Australia as one of those four teams who would be making to the semifinals. What went wrong about the Australian team? It was just losing the crucial moments of the game. I know we know that in test you play with small chunks, try to get the segments, win those small battles, and win the game or eventually. But T20 has become that way as well. Like if you don't take the right decisions at the right moment, you are going to struggle. So I think in the games which Australia has played, toss was a crucial aspect. We saw the same thing against Afghanistan. We saw the same thing against India. And this has been a bit of a pattern for this T20 World Cup. Chasing has been a tricky job whenever it comes to like whichever team is trying to chase it. It's going to be a challenging aspect for them to do it. And that's where I think Australia lost the plot on that particular two games. Again, one is against Afghanistan and later on against the India. Both crucial games. They needed to win those games to be in the fight for the semifinals. When the situation got tough, I guess the Australian got under pressure. Instead, it should be the other way around. They should be the people who should be able to handle the pressure properly.
Mm.
Yesterday again with India as well, the drop catch for Hardik Pandya, if I'm not wrong, from Mitchell Marsh was crucial. After that, he went on to get 20 odd runs, which was crucial to get us over the 20-200 mark to the Indian team. So I think those crucial things. I don't want to raise questions around Mitchell Marsh's captaincy or anything around it. It's still very early stages for him to be captaining the team. He has done a good job overall, but small changes, small things which has affected it. I guess against in the Afghanistan game as well, they couldn't take those wickets, and that can be seen on their body language. That was the first time any team has scored 100 plus runs against Australia. So Afghanistan being the opening pair was blasting on that day, and they couldn't tackle them. I think that sets you back straight away. And for some reason, the pressure was seen on the Australian bowlers, which is unusual. Normally, Australia is the team who handles the pressure the best way anybody has seen. So
Yeah.
a bit of a disappointment over there. That's where the match went out from their hand, and it just kept going away and away, and affecting the final result of Australia not being in the semifinals.
Yeah, Australia is one of those teams, like you said, we'd really, anyone, I'm sure any of the best predictors in the world would obviously have Australia in those semi-finals. They're very top team with very big class, but anything can happen. In this
Absolutely.
T20 World Cup, we saw New Zealand get knocked out before the Super 8 stage. We saw Pakistan, one of the best T20 teams in the world, getting knocked out before the stage. And then we saw England inches away from being knocked out, literally inches away from being knocked out before the Super 8 stage, but they've made it through to the semi-finals and they've done well in the Super 8. What do you make of them?
Yeah, England has been the underdogs for some reason throughout this tournament. Initially, I guess if I remember, a few of the commentators and the ex players were quite confident about England making easily to the Super 8. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. I absolutely agree with you that on that particular day, on that particular match, whoever is better taking the decisions, understanding the situation, and acting instead of reacting to the situation are doing well. That's what we have seen throughout the tournament, that whichever
Yeah.
captain, whichever team has adapted quickly, they could take that edge over that game and eventually go and win the game. So unfortunately, they didn't do well. But the way they have bounced back in the Super 8, it really puts a lot of challenge in front of India when they play the semi-final against them in a day's time. It's going to be crucial to see how or what changes from the Indian side. I'm not sure whether we need to change anything around it, but as a good logic to anything, if you're winning, not to change anything. I think one of the concerns over there would be to see how Indian openers are behaving against the Indian pace attack in case they go with the pace attack.
Mm.
If they bring spinners early on, that's going to be crucial as well to see, because the way Virat is playing right now, it's not a problem, but it's due. Like, when something is overdue, that's where the situation is.
Yeah.
Virat is due for a big innings very soon. And seeing the business end, he has shown his class when it matters. So if he fires on that day, it's going to be a big
Yeah.
challenge for England. And again, the pressure situation, how well England has handled the pressure, how calm they remain in the situation
Mm.
is going to be crucial. So it's going to be a very, very exciting game to watch, depending upon how and or what happens at the toss as well. So
Yeah.
that's going to be key.
Both semi-finals will be ones to watch. Of course, Afghanistan, South Africa, I reckon will be a bit more closer than anyone could imagine, but we will never ever doubt the performances of both the India and England sides individually performing. Of course, England having a bit of a slow start, almost getting knocked out before the
Hmm.
Super Red stage, but in the end, they've made it to the semis. So has India, and India has remained unbeaten. But you never know, England could pull off a spicky and break that run and qualify for the final. But we will never know until it comes in just a couple days' time. We're also, as speaking of India, we're very lucky to have their squad with us. So we've got Rohit Sharma, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Virat Kohli, Surya Kumar Yadav, Rishabh Pant, Sanju Samson, Hardik Pandya, Shivam Dube, Ravindra Jadeja, Akshar Patel, Kuldeep Yadav, Yuzi Chahal, Ashdeep Singh, Jasprit Bumrah, and Mohammad Siraj. Jonathan, who do you think, which of these players will be important for India when they play England?
As I said earlier, I would not expect anything to change. I don't want to change any of the playing 11s which are there. But Virat Kohli is going to be the key. He's been under the radar. He hasn't fired yet in the World Cup, and we are aware that Virat Kohli fires on the big games, big days whenever it is required.
Mm,
So I won't be surprised if he gets going on the semifinals day. It's going to be a tough job for England. No matter what India is doing, chasing or putting the score on the board first. So if Virat Kohli gets going, it's going to be hard for them. I think another player who hasn't fired yet is Ravindra Jadeja. We haven't seen him take so many wickets yet.
mm,
That's another big advantage which India has got, that India has performed so far without these two getting into their games actually. So
mm.
once they get into it, it's gonna be the full house who would be performing.
Yeah.
Rest of the team is doing brilliantly as of now.
Mm,
The way Rohit Sharma was taking Australians the other day, scoring 92 runs, that was due as well, which has come. So semi-final and final would be a bit easy for Rohit Sharma's point of view, and
yeah.
rest of the players have chipped in. And it's good to see that everybody has contributed at a different level. So
Mm,
wherever required, up front, if we talk about bowling, Shadip Singh has been amazing on his line and length. And getting that early wickets, he has done throughout the tournament.
yeah.
One of the leading wicket takers as well. In the middle order, we have stopped the opposition from scoring runs. It may be good bowling, it is good fielding. You saw the spectacular catches which Akshar Patel took
He
against
did
Australia to get
very good.
Mitchell Marsh out. The way Indian team has stepped up overall, it feels really good to see that it's happening. And it's good that we have come to a situation where the key players are still to fire. So that gives that extra bonus, which is always good to have for any team
Yeah.
going into a semi-final.
Yeah, Virat Kohli, you're right. Virat Kohli will be one of those players that England need to be afraid of. England will definitely already have their eyes on Virat Kohli, even the likes of Surya Kumar Yadav. He has performed, but is yet for a biggie. Of course, Rohit Sharma, the captain of the Indian side, making a whopping 90 just the other day against Australia as well. So England have lots to watch out for in this jam-packed semi-final with quality players from both sides. So if you do want to watch it and you do live in New Zealand, Sky Sport's your way to go. Sky Sport and Sky Sport Now. If you're in Australia, for Jatin, you can watch it, I believe, on Prime Video, if I'm
Yeah,
not wrong.
yeah, it's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, on Amazon Prime Video. In India, on the ICC Men's T20 World Cup is being streamed live for free on Disney Plus Hotstar and on Star Sports. It's very good to see this free streaming from the Indian in India. So more people are getting into cricket. Of course, it's already a big fan base for the Indian side, but that if India do make it to the final, I can guarantee there will be a record for the amount of people watching that game, especially if it's going to be a close one. More videos,
Yeah,
match
I agree
highlights
on
for
that.
some of the matches in the NZ Summer of Cricket are available on our YouTube page. The New Zealand Tour of Pakistan video is available, and the IPL series. All videos are now available to watch. The T20 World Cup video is this. We have one video out for the beginning of it, and this is our one for the semi-finals. Paris 2024 Olympics is almost here. and there'll be likes of India and New Zealand, even Australia, hoping to get some good medals to add to their tally for over the years. If you haven't already, make sure to follow our Instagram page for daily sports updates, especially for this year T20 World Cup. Find out which stars are shining and who's taking the victories. That's it from us. Thank you to Jatin for joining us all the way from Australia. And thank you.
Thank you, Adi. It's been a pleasure to be here and talking about cricket.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you, everyone. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page for more videos just like this and more analysis your way. Bye-bye.